Would you pray with me a moment? Open my lips that my mouth might show forth your praise. And may the words of my mouth and the meditations of our hearts be acceptable in thy sight, O Lord, our strength and our Redeemer. Amen. You know, everyone, I think, pays attention to what's going on around them. Some of us read the papers. Some of us watch the news on television. One of the things that I do is I look out into the world and I watch and listen for how people are talking about faith these days. And one of the things that strikes me about faith these days in America and in other places around the world is there seems to be little to no room for doubt. It seems to me that everyone has become a fundamentalist. Let me explain that, because I know you're all like, he doesn't mean us. So there are the folks that we call fundamentalists. And if you ever talk to them, they'll say, you have to believe it, the it being whatever it is that they believe, exactly and completely. If you have even a shred of doubt, it's some sort of spiritual failure or weakness or the work of the devil. Now, not on the other extreme, but on another side of the spectrum are folks like the folks who attend churches like the Dover Church. And when I speak to folks like you, often you will say, well, I have my doubts. But what I've noticed is people like us also believe the fundamentalists. We are apologetic about our faith. We'll say things like, well, if I really think about my faith, I guess I do doubt this or that. And I guess that makes me not all that religious. Maybe I'm spiritual, but not religious. And you see, in that one move, we have self-selected a mantle of not as good as those folks that we don't even want to believe like anyways. We bought into the whole fundamentalist paradigm. So I want to talk to you about doubt and faith this morning, and I want to tell you this. Embrace your doubts. Embrace them. Be like Thomas, whose doubts were the doorway to a deeper faith. And your doubts can be your doorway to a more vibrant faith. Now, the problem is, when we use the word doubt, we actually can mean many different things. For some, doubt actually means indifference. As in, I can't really be bothered. As in, I'd much rather play golf on Sunday mornings than come to church. Or, I'd much rather surf the internet than learn about faith. Now, the fact of the matter is everyone has a spirituality. Some people's spirituality is cleaning the house. Some people's spirituality is singing in the choir, or coming to church, or cleaning the churchyard. But many people ignore theirs, or they anesthetize them, and they just try to pretend that they're not living that life. And some people think, well, you know, learning how to read the Bible and doing it, or how to pray and doing it, or how to worship and doing it, or God help us, being part of a community called church and then sticking with it, it's just too much work. I can't be bothered. And church is so messy. Indifference is not doubt. In most things in life, anything but yes is a no. Like, you can't be a little bit dead. You either are or you aren't. And you can't be into faith and say, not really. That's just a no. There are other folks who don't doubt, but they're content going through the motions. folks who've always gone to church, and whatever happens in church is good enough. Life is comfortable, haven't really been challenged too much. And we might not say it, but if we were to dig into our doubts, well, that would be like putting a pebble into a pair of our most comfortable loafers and going out for a walk. Why would I do that? I'd ruin my feet, I'd ruin my shoes, and I'd ruin the walk. I don't want to be near any doubts. Now, other people say doubt, and they mean rejection. And usually, what they mean is rejection of organized religion. And God help us, they have every reason to reject organized religion. There has been so much bad teaching over the 2 millennia that there has been something called the church. And there's been even worse practice based upon that bad teaching, which I like to counter is why I know there is a God, that there is a church at all after 2,000 years of inept and bad human leadership and behavior. But it doesn't have to be that bad. It could be that just the delivery system isn't a good fit for you. Like maybe how I preach doesn't resonate with you. Maybe your favorite preacher is someone else who does it differently. Or maybe the community is a mismatch. We're not your flavor. Or if you've been to some churches are toxic. Or inbred, they become a club and they're not welcoming. Or maybe how we do worship here doesn't work for you, but maybe you need to get up and do something more. Or maybe you need to sit in silence. And if you want to argue about that, not everyone loves the Rolling Stones. It's that one size does not fit all. There are billions and billions and billions of human beings. Proof, if anyone ever asks you, that God loves diversity. Why would we think that all of us have to fit into one pair of shoes? You might need to try a different delivery system. But then we get to the things that are actual doubts. For some of us, the doubt is existential, meaning something terrible happened in your life. And you found yourself, surprisingly, on your knees, praying to God for mercy. And you didn't hear anything back. Nothing happened. Your prayer felt unanswered. In the last century, the First World War, and then the Holocaust, destroyed the faith of an entire generation of people that this could be possible. These are hard ones. There's no easy answer to these existential doubts. But I do believe that you will find the answer, the beginning of an answer, by the time I get to end this sermon. Some people, and these are usually in the confirmation class, say that they have doubt because they believe in science. And they think that science and faith contradict one another. And again, I say, well, you're just being a fundamentalist. Where did you learn that at the Dover Church? Or is that what they're teaching biology over at Dover Sherman High School? Because if you think that, you are accepting blanket assertions without personally digging into what science actually claims to know at this point in time. And you may not even be digging into what faith actually offers. Because the thing about science is, science doesn't claim to know everything. Science claims to be eager to ask questions, to embrace not knowing. And any scientist in any field will tell you that the content and limits of knowledge are always expanding. Now, if that's not faith, what is? I believe science is there to expand our faith. And faith is there to enrich our science. But there is one final aspect of doubt. And these people say, well, I believe in a God, but I doubt that Jesus was the Son of God. or I doubt the virgin birth, or I doubt the resurrection, or I doubt the miracle stories. To which I ask, how much have you tried to dig into the reason for your doubt? And what might there be to learn about the thing that you're doubting? Because, my friends, I'm just like all of you. I have a PhD from Berkeley, California. People there thought I was crazy when I told them I went to church on Sunday morning. But I have discovered that when I have given up my desire for easy, quick, black and white, soundbite answers to all my doubts have become doorways to God. Just like Thomas, who says, unless I see the wounds and put my hands in them. And what happens? He gets exactly what he's looking for. In a way, they say the doors were locked, and Jesus moves through the locked doors, but so does Thomas, in a way. Through the closed windows and the thick walls of fear, he finds a pathway forward. Now, every fascinating character in the Bible, everyone that you know, have heard about, these stories in the Bible, every one of them hinges on doubt. Abraham and Sarah, no way, we're too old. Moses, no, not me, I can't do it. David, who, him, the youngest son? The prophets, oh God, help me, I'm the wrong person to send on this mission. Mary and Joseph, what, me? Peter, help me, Lord, I'm drowning. Paul, I persecuted the church, you can't mean me. Jesus in the Garden of Gethsemane, God, let this cup pass from me. So I want to tell you something. As your pastor, I'm here to help you with your doubts. But I'm not here to magically make them go away or to somehow cleverly explain them away. I am here to help you find the courage to get on your feet, and then I will hold your hand as you open up that door. And then I will try to help you tell me what you see. That's a very different approach. Now, most of you already know this, but tomorrow I'm going to run the Boston Marathon. And I think that's a great illustration for this story. I know I'm going to start. Yes, Charlie. I know, Thessaly's running too. I bet you she's going to beat me. I know I'm going to start, but will I finish? Many people are thinking, I doubt it. And I would lie to you if I said, I don't occasionally doubt it. There's good reason to doubt. Any number of things could not work out tomorrow. It's a long race. And I know I'm not the least likely marathoner in the history of marathons, but I'm pretty close. Now, you remember those fundamentalists I mentioned before? Beware of the fundamentalists. When I decided I was going to run this marathon, everyone told me, you got to do it like this. There's a way to prepare. And if you do it exactly like this, I am almost certain that you're going to make it in really good time. And they give you an exact outline, almost guarantee success. Did I do that? No. The truth is, I didn't have the time. For one thing, they only let me know 12 weeks ago. If they let me know 5 months ago, I would have stopped eating so much. But I also have this thing called a life with daily responsibilities. I have this person called my wife, and these children called my children, and this place called my church. And I had to make a decision. And I love all of those things more than running the Boston Marathon in under 4 hours. Do I have the right body type? Did I change my nutrition? No, I just kept eating what I always eat. Do I have a race plan? Yes. Try to finish. My friends, I did the best I could. And I know I could have done better. And I do know tomorrow, barring a traffic accident, at 11:15, I'm going to step across that starting line in Hopkinton and embrace my doubts. Like faith, it's the only way you can find out. By trying. And I want to find out because I wanted to help raise money for the women's lunch place. They're the people who got me the bib. I couldn't have got in the race without them. They gave me the opportunity, and I really, really, really believe in their mission of helping the homeless women in Boston. And I know why they gave me the bib. I'm a great fundraiser. I'm not a great runner. I can help them out. I also have discovered in training that I really enjoy learning the physical, emotional, and spiritual lessons that training for a marathon has to teach us. Like this one about doubt. And now I may not look transformed to you, but I feel the transformation going on within in my spirit. It's the same with faith. Why bother? Why put yourself to the trouble? Well, I've been here a long time now, so you might have missed these sermons, but I went to seminary to find out how to love God with my whole heart. What that would be like and what would become of me if I did that. And I became a pastor because I was really hooked by this ideal of church. Could church be done in places like Dover? I wanted to see if I could help a church be a church and not something else. And finally, why do I do spiritual practices like worship and prayer and pilgrimage and yoga and Bible study? Because I want to know the power of the resurrection. I talked about that last Sunday. That's what's in it. But you've got to do it. We need, my friends, to stop being led by the nose by the fundamentalists. The doubt is not the problem. The doubt is the thing. If you want to know where God's inviting you to head, name your doubt and open that door.